Professor Galal Osman from Egypt, who will now speak about the experience that not only he has in Egypt, but he will give us an update about the MENA region. And at the end, last but certainly not the last speaker, will be from the Folke Center in Denmark, which has been mentioned many times by several of the speakers. But now, Galal Osman, a welcome to, I assume you're in Cairo, and now we look forward to hearing from you and what is happening in Egypt and the MENA region.
Thank you, Stefan, and good morning, my friends in Canada. Good evening, Peter, in Australia, and good day for Europe and parts of the world. I'll talk on renewable energy education and in Egypt and shed some light on the MENA region. Shortly, MENA region is 60% of the population of the world. It has 19 countries, and this area has 60% of the world oil and 45% of the world natural gas. This is an idea about MENA renewable energy target by IRENA and the demand of the countries, and the estimated demand will be 80 giga by 2030. As you see here in Algeria, 22 gigawatt, Morocco, 11 gigawatt. There are champions, Saudi Arabia, 10 gigawatt. So the demand for new jobs and the demand for water and food is another dimension not mentioned on the seminar. Shortage of water and water desalination and water for agriculture and food. So this is another part. MENA, to live with the time frame I have been given to me, I'd like to show that different places in the continent are having Renewable Energy Institute. Morocco, in Rabat, and in different places. Tunisia, 5 centers in Egypt. I am going to touch in detail, and this is in North Africa. And then in Saudi Arabia, King Fahd of Petroleum, and in Jordan and Oman and the Emirates. So between the Arabian Gulf and the Atlantic Ocean, there are demand for renewable energy. What application? Let us have it a deep thinking on this technology. Wind technology, not when the electricity is only needed, but we need wind pumping to get water from so many, 100 meters deep to have the desert. We have desert with 50 degrees centigrade, and we need water for pumping and for agriculture to produce food. Some of the waters around the coasts is saline. Then we need wind desalination. And then, of course, for the intermittency of renewable, we need energy storage and the smart grids. To go with sustainable development goals, we have to decarbonize our community from electricity and to decarbonize our transportation system. Then we go for electromobility and having charging station for e-vehicles run by wind and solar in different thousands of kilometers around the desert in Africa. This is the right side of the story. What about the left one? The country, the session, North Africa is blessed with solar radiation, 18 hours of radiation and very strong insulation. So solar technology to complement with wind, we talk for PV and concentrated CSP. And this year I was having my BC project study. We're having now combination of PV and CSP, because with CSP you can have energy storage in molten sodium. So you run your PV system for the morning, and then your CSP system will give you energy. So it is dispatchable power for 24 hours. Isolated loads in decentralized places, you need pumping. You have water 100 meters deep, and then you have sun, and you have no network for electricity, and you have no water. Then solar pumping is coming, and with 50 degrees centigrade, all the electrical loads on the Gulf, in Oman and the Kuwait and so on, solar air conditioning. And of course in winter, DSH, domestic solar water heating, to power millions of electrical water heaters, and then come back again for the technology of storage, smart grid, electromobility, and again, as complementary to solar wind desalination, there is also solar desalinations. Already some programs has run. The first program was with Denmark since 2007 and the Arab Organization of Industrialization, and I'm going to talk much about that. It was 2007, 13 years ago, when Egyptian engineers went to Denmark to have wind mechanical and wind electrical, and I leave that to Tony and Yana to talk on that side. And then Egypt was lucky to host in 2011 the 10th World Wind Energy Conference, and we are applying to host again 22nd or 23rd with Gouna and Berlin University. Now we are working on in the north of Africa to have international renewable energy university in Hurghada and the Red Sea. And last November 19, we were lucky to get the fourth branch of the Folk Center to have Egypt MENA Folk Center after Mali and Uganda and Chile. And no need to mention that we are, since 1986, we got the Egyptian Wind Energy Association, and as part founder of WWEA. The programs are, we start with Kassel University and Cairo University. This was for the last 10 years to get Master of Science in wind and solar and economic analysis and ecological and regulatory. This is one of the first international cooperation program between Kassel University and Cairo University. Next. And then MIT, Massachusetts Technology in Cambridge in USA, having a program now to have Center of Excellence of Renewable Energy with my university, Mansoura University, and the Ain Shams University in Cairo and Aswan University in the south, concentrating solar power and solar fuels, and we are doing well in this dimension. This is the second international cooperation with USA. And then next, this is the course 3 for the renewable energy program for 5 years, the program and the different disciplines, and the problem of grid integration and the different technology and a combination of them. This is in the program has started with MIT, with mission in different places and the 3 universities. Next. Then the TU Berlin have a campus in El Gouna, where we would like to host you and invite you when we get the green light from the association to have the World Wind Energy Conference in 22nd or 23, or the time they are going to choose. In this university, they have energy, water master degree. So they don't go only for one dimension of energy, but energy of water and of urban development. So they have 3 Master of Science in this dimension with TU Berlin as campus in Berlin, and the students are going back and forth, and they are different demand scenarios and the market strategy, scientific method regarding to economic decision. This is the 3rd example in one of the institutes in Egypt, and when I was in the survey for the MENA region, I spotted about 20 institutes scattered between Morocco and till Saudi Arabia and Oman and UAE and Qatar and Israel. So all the Arab region is blessed with sun and wind and also oil. But now we have to decarbonize transportation and to decarbonize energy scenario. Next. Private institution after Corona pandemic go for e-learning. So this Green Energy Academy Egypt with SRH University in Germany, they go for system design, PV training, PV pumping, installation and commissioning, and wind energy basics, and electromobility. It's also one of the items being addressed now by e-learning. Next. This is the international, this cooperation between countries and the Egyptian universities. Also, there is a international platform like Solar Energy International around the world. And now they are going to have Middle East and Africa program, including system integrators, PV installers, technical sales people, system designer, PV system developers, and much more. So even the links are there. European Union and is giving support to mutual program in wind energy between Europe and Egypt and Tunisia to have training laboratories and implement in Egypt and Tunisia for most mastered program skilled in wind energy sector, as they are blessed with strong wind like the west coast of Morocco and in Tunisia and in Za'farana, Red Sea, so different places. And then we cannot neglect hybridization, wind and solar, and we should work on storage because there is no solar in the evening. And our demand priority in the region is water. Water for food as sustainable development goals, and water for agriculture, and water for drinking, to have secure water, especially there's only one Nile between the Arab Gulf till Morocco. Next. The courses by WISET, the German program, wind engineering, mechanical system, mechatronics and wind conversion, and wind energy system. And I'd like to add a small comment. I was on the team with World Wind Energy Institute, and I'd like to get it back again live with the call of my colleagues. And I call for integration between the centers. We have been hearing about islands of places in China, and we don't have a connection with them. And in Toronto and in Bamako, there is no connection or exchanging of them. And I recall at the last minute, there was a call by Wu Gang from Goldwind, and I have submitted to Peter, let us work on World Wind Energy Education Conference for more or 4 times, because 2 or 3 times are very short for that, and I thank you for that. Last one, Egypt also is with the Mediterranean. So in Brussels and in Marsilia and Spain, they are working also on CSCP, Concentrated Power Knowledge and Innovation Program. They are helping to accelerate CSCP, Concentrated Solar Power, especially as in Spain, you have 18 hours of storage, 18 hours of storage. Then your system is dispatchable, can work 24 hours. You avoid intermittency. I think this is the last slide. Anything more, John? Topics concerning CSCP, developing and managing national CSCP program. CSCP is in Chile and in China and in Spain and in Paris to California, but is not, and in South Africa, so, and in Morocco and in Dubai. So this new technology coming hand in hand with PV, and they are not competing together, but they are complementing each other, and they are cost effective compared to other technology. And other application like heat generation for industry, this industrial or non-electrical power generation, not everything with electrons. So I'm talking with water and also with heat when I'm talking about CSCP. I think this is the last one. This is a Middle East University in Amman with Egypt, and they have German university, and they have very special with the EU platform, ETC Grass, wind, also solar and wind energy Master of Science. The program, next please. Wind energy technology, fundamentals, basics of environmental, electrotechniques, technical details of renewable energy, physical basis of wind energy techniques, different sizes and functions of wind turbine, small and wind and big and offshore, planning, conception, and installation of wind power plant and wind energy parks, maintenance, preparation, security system for wind energy power plants, economical assessment for wind energy projects, marketing, geological excursion on big wind energy project site, and the commercial communication on wind energy project investment, and then digitization, how to get the new communication technology on our system. And this is the last one, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Galal. That was also wonderful to hear from you first. What are the prospects also for wind power, renewable energy in the MENA region? It's impressive to see what the targets are, and I'm sure it will be even more than that. And also to hear about what's already going on, and that there's already a lot of international collaboration. And I'm also pleased to hear about your signal being positive about kind of restarting this international collaboration that we have